So oftentimes, if they lose, let's say, $2 million out of all the billions they have, they are ready to crash because they don't want to lose. When you see all those items, those bags, the fabulosity of people living their best life, it's not a great comparison. It may mean I'm poor, but we'll get to that in a few minutes. I'm not ashamed of it at all. What type of poor are you? I am so happy that I grew up poor. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you are new, don't be scared. As you guys know, on this channel, sustainability matters and we embrace imperfect sustainability. So I'm gonna leave you some tips on how you could be imperfectly sustainable. I'm so glad I grew up poor. Oh my God. And I'll tell you the reasons why. So when it comes to these types of poverties, you always feel grateful for when you get something. Honestly, we all need a belief system that really anchor us and secure us, and you believe in whatever you want, whatever works for you. Whether you're spiritual, whether you're religious, you do you. But whatever works for you to make you more content and kind, because these are qualities that really, really admirable. It makes you less greedy, less competitive. And not that competition is not good, but trust me, the type of competition that often makes you excel, many times, it's not all of the times, it's not a good competition. It's a jealous kind of competition. And this is not to say that I don't experience bouts of jealousy. Yes, some sort of competition is good. It helps to propel you forward. But at the same time, the type of competition that people that do not experience poverty at a certain level is a different type of competition where they actually want to, they literally kill you. They will delete you. They would unalive you to get ahead. And they would unalive you for your own thing. Think of all the mass destructions of people of certain types because maybe they have cocoa, or they have lands, or they have tea, or they have coffee that you want. Think about all the circumstances, the variables that were at play to make people that you see today intergenerationally wealthy. It's at the expense most of the times of others, because most of the times they rob them because they have the know-how, they have the technology to make these raw materials, to convert these raw materials into something that they know that people would use. Seriously, when you think of intergenerational wealth, often these days people term it as, oh, stealth wealth. Stealth wealth. Quiet luxury. Yeah. Stealth wealth definitely takes on a new meaning when you think of the way many of these people, these rich people, acquired their wealth intergenerationally. Yeah, the plunder, the destruction, the poor wages. Yeah, even to date, many of these companies that get rich off the backs of many third world countries and many people of the lower bracket, of the uneducated, of the very poor, many of these people, and the poor are often, you find them in these cycles because sometimes say whatever you like, the system may or may not have them that way, because it works. It works to hoard intergenerational wealth. And this is not to say that some are not let up or allowed into that bracket where they step off that poverty ladder. But the length to which they reach to the same level of some others, yeah, most of the times it's because if you find many vulnerable groups, most of the time make it really big, it's often sometimes because of their physical strength, stamina, that physical gift that the others, many others cannot take away from them, and they need to recognize it. And oftentimes behind those physical strengths, like the athletes, the tennis players, is somebody else that is often, getting part of that wealth. So certain types of poverty or certain levels of poverty really make you who you are, particularly me. It makes me less greedy, less competitive, in a good way. It also makes me not an intergenerational hoarder, because you know what it takes to hoard intergenerationally, to pass down that type of mentality to your kids over and over. As I mentioned before, intergenerational wealth is often at the expense of others. Where do some companies get tobacco? Honestly, where? While it may be in some countries among some Aboriginal people, is it Aboriginal people that really own? Yeah. Think about it. It's so much to unpack when it comes to poverty and what it makes you and what it makes others. So that definitely ties into, as I've mentioned before, better value system. I have great values. Oh my God, the things you value, it means that you're not going to sell your brother, your sister, your audience by lying to them about products that you're promoting. As content creators, you're going to be honest about the things that you're selling. It's not just because you want to get off that poverty ladder. You would get off, but you don't have to lie. It's a different type of plundering. It's a different type of destruction, because when you lie to your audience, your deception is making you rich at the expense of your audience. Don't lie if the Hermes bag is not of the greatest quality these days. It's true, it's not. It's not beautiful, although that's in the eyes of the beholder, but it's not practical. So don't act as if it's that practical. So seriously, don't act as if that facial product is the best thing that happened since loaf bread. There are so many content creators, top tier even, that they borrow the ideas of very smaller content creators and pass it on as if it's their own, because they have a better audience. It goes viral, whereas that content creator down there that actually was the original creator of that thought, that video, that idea, she or he never gets any credit for it. That's modern day stealing and plundering. So greed, not having the right set of values because of the way you grew up and feeling entitled. And oftentimes, I often feel like some people, they use the word entitled wrong, because honestly, there are some groups of people that should feel entitled because they were deprived of certain intergenerational privileges that would have propelled them and make them be at the same stage or on par with their other groups of people today. So It's definitely something to keep in mind when you're watching these videos that tell you to buy this, buy the latest gadget, buy the latest furniture or the latest lotions. Yeah, the latest dress, which is polyester, regardless of the brand name. It's not worth it. It's a reflection of that person's values. Honestly, I have to sit down. Most of the time, some people forget where they came from. They get blinded by all the glittery stuff that they see in front of them, and they are perpetuating the same narrative and the same behavior that their ancestors had before them, just differently. It's wrong. So here's where you get the willpower, because you got it in you. It's yours. And it's because of the way you grow up. Whatever your poverty situation is, whether it's absolute, God forbid, or it's relative, situational, urban, rural, generational, whatever it is, you don't have to fall for FOMO. You don't have to fall for the flexing that's going on, because you have the value system that many of them do not have because of the way they grew up. You have the willpower. You learn to be content. You have learned to navigate life a completely different way. You have the psychological stamina. And I hope that you would tap into those. And guys, while poverty could have that glass half full, empty kind of perspective, you choose. You as a poor person, you know what perspective you look at. The glass half full kind of perspective. It helps you navigate life much easier. As I said, your value system is not compromised. And do you know how much energy that is utilized to lie, to propagate lies about certain products? Do you know? It's not worth it. Poverty itself, from a perspective of a glass half full, it reminds you that you are not as worse off as you think. Do you know what else it does? And this was really profound for me when I realized it, is that it makes me save more by not buying into the lies of all these products. And it gives me the willpower not to shop until I drop, not to put in my cart when they tell me to. Yeah, not to run and not walk, not to think that, oh my God, it's done. You're gonna regret it for the rest of your life if you don't get it. Yeah, that's what it taught me. And it makes you not poorer by not buying into, like literally not buying into these narratives. Poverty, while it defines you, it also refines you. And it propels you to not only be better, but to do better than what you see is being done going forward. Guys, I love you. I really, really hope that you have learned something. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I didn't mean to rant, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves, guys. Bye. And this is what is also very important, because that situation, your situation in life, creates certain values. And that is not to say that if you were born rich, you don't have certain values, but oftentimes not from experience. It's often when they tell you you have to do it, you didn't learn it. And it's not as deeply embedded as when you actually learn it. So oftentimes you see that because they don't learn it from the ground up, they were only told to be a certain way, it often doesn't resonate well when they actually face the real life challenges. So many millionaires are discontented when they lose money. Many of them don't often have that willpower to keep on living, that resilience that really make you sturdy and mentally strong, and they don't have that. They don't have the know-how, which is sad. But these are expected ways. I'm just trying to show you little unexpected ways that you could style your pieces over the holidays.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began